Hello everyone. Some of you reminded me recently that I haven't done a full review of the Kali Oracle yet by Alana Fairchild and Jimmy Manton. So today seemed like the appropriate time to do that. So just to start with the tuck box, it's a typical Blue Angel tuck box. You know, it's exactly as we've come to expect from Blue Angel for years and years now. And the back of the tuck box says, Kali, the wild's mother of divine grace, spiritual freedom, and radical transformation, embraces your courageous soul. Kali, the wrathful goddess of supreme spiritual protection, welcomes your tender heart. Kali, the pure and ever watchful, stands against all that obstructs your fulfillment. The ego may fear her, but your true self takes comfort in her ferocious compassion and unyielding wisdom. Dance, revel, and rejoice in the presence of the Great Mother. With the empowering insight of Alana Fairchild and the striking imagery of Jimmy Manton, this unique oracle set is an offering of guidance, clarity, and healing that invokes unconditional love, divine blessing, and authentic spiritual unfoldment. Share sacred space with Goddess Kali in her many forms for a direct experience of her alchemical power. Be held in the glory of her being and behold your destiny. Dedicated to your bold and tender heart for the spiritual liberation of all beings. So that is the about aspect of the deck, for lack of a better term on my part at the moment. And then this is the guidebook that accompanies the deck itself. Let me tell you how many pages that is before I get sidetracked. 221 pages, so not her most lengthy guidebook, but certainly gives you as much wealth of information as, say, the Isis Oracle and the Sacred Rebels Oracle or the Divine Circus Oracle. So you're going to get what you always get from Alana's guidebooks, like a kind of paragraph that's a blurb of like the summation of the card meaning, at least 4 or 5 paragraphs, if not more, discussing the card itself, and then an invocation or a ritual in order to connect with Kali further if you feel called to. So the card reproduction is very small, black and white, as you can see there, and you can see I've taken notes in this guidebook as well. The card stock is a beautiful matte card stock, and the card stock, oh, there are cats fighting next door. That's interesting. Okay, the cardstock is, hold on, let me go back, matte, and the size is a typical Rider-Waite-Smith size. Let me see, not Rider-Waite-Smith, typical Blue Angel, excuse me. I was looking for my Rider-Waite-Smith to compare it to, but here's the Morgan Greer for comparison. So you have a nice, you know, large-sized card, and I find that that's really helpful when working with oracle decks because it allows you to really get into the imagery, you know, and it does make a big difference. So this is the card backing with the skulls there and the wings, which I enjoy. You know, it's not my favorite backing from Alana. It's not my least favorite. I think it's nice, and, you know, that's, I don't know what else to say about that. So I'm going to show you some of the card images while I talk about the energy of the deck itself. I think that there's, if you are getting to know Kali, this is a really powerful deck to work with. And I think what's going to happen if you choose to purchase this deck is that you're going to find that it takes you places that you weren't expecting it to. Insofar as, you know, we really see Kali as like a refining fire goddess, kind of holding that energy of the tower. And Alana doesn't avoid that in this deck. At all, I don't feel like. But I think she also really fleshes her out fully. And she references various other incarnations or aspects of the goddess and also sister goddesses as well in the guidebook to allow Kali to be, again, like, it's a full image of the goddess. It's not just about the tower moments. And what's really surprised me as I've worked with this deck more and more is that I actually feel a huge amount of compassion and love coming from Kali in this deck. Now, I have worked with Kali for years, and you know, I know Kali to be loving, but she can also kick your ass. However, in this deck, this is a deck that you can use, you know, in your more tender, raw moments, as well as in those moments when you're on your knees, in moments where you're looking for encouragement or clarity. This is a deck that's really going to offer you all of those aspects. I have to say, guys, I really highly recommend this deck. I'm very pleased with it. I'm pleased with how it feels. I'm pleased with how it works with me. As you can see, I purchased the journal, and I have reproduction in the journal. There's like full page copies of the artwork in the deck, and I have some of those framed on the wall behind me. You can see I have this image framed as well. And I really, the art, I think Jimmy Manton did a fabulous job on the whole. Yes, there are some double reproductions, as he seems to do in every deck, but I'm more than happy to overlook that when I have these beautiful images like this, the Kali Mahamaya here. It's a chance to really get to know her and her history as well. Love that image. And the artwork is striking too. So I think it's really a deck for connection with Kali, building a relationship with Kali, and for shadow work or personal journey work. It's a deck that's meant to be like, I think it's really, it wants you to spend time with it. It does not want, you know, it's not a deck that you want to rush through your connection with. You want to take your time, enjoy the messages, and really allow yourself to understand what it is that Kali is, you know, has to say to you now. So I would say it's a deck for someone who is wanting to really build a relationship with Kali, and someone who wants to, you know, spend time with their deck and journal with their deck, really like sit with the, you know, drawing one card and sitting with it, not rushing through the card meanings. I love that image. If you know what I mean, it's a real encouragement to slow down and spend your time with her energy. And if you are feeling like, well, I'd like to get this oracle deck, but I'm nervous because I'm scared that she's gonna, you know, that she's gonna be too intense, I think Alana did a beautiful job of keeping her intensity, but also showing how loving Kali is. And you know, I'm always talking about the sweet within the sting. And sometimes we need those experiences, or for going through more visceral experiences, there is a sweetness that comes on the other side of that in regards to the understanding that we have. And I believe that with this deck, Kali is really able to help you find that, extract that sweetness, and to be able to come to an understanding of yourself as well. So again, matte cardstock, really beautiful. I know some people felt that they wanted more authentic imagery, kind of similar to this, and some people were bothered by that, you know, that was included. Seemed like there was like many ends of the spectrum of people having opinions on this. I love the artwork, but I love Jimmy Manton's artwork on the whole. So one of my lovely friends and I were sharing imagery as Alana was kind of, you know, teasing us with imagery, and I was like, this is exactly what I wanted to see. The artwork in the Isis Oracle, for me, feels like Jimmy really captured her, and I feel like he really captured Kali as well. And there is one image I showed you that I just wanted to go back to. So let me just find it, guys. Just give me 1 second. I should probably pause this for you guys. I'm sorry. But I just wanted to talk about like my favorite. You know, of course, do I necessarily love the flower imagery? It's not my favorite necessarily, but it's not overwhelmingly this. Much more of the artwork is focused on Kali or various faces of Kali. And so this is okay for me in this situation. In a situation like the Vikings Oracle, where Jimmy did the artwork, and I feel like a lot of that was phoned in, I didn't appreciate that. But in this deck, that's not a problem for me. This is my favorite image in the deck. Isn't that beautiful? Chamunda Kali? Love it. and also, I mean, and he did a beautiful job with the masculine energy for Kali as well here. So as far as the artwork goes, I really have no complaints. I think that the artwork on the whole is lovely. There's always going to be some cards that you prefer less artistically, you know, and on the whole, I love this artwork. I really do feel that Alana and Jimmy knocked this one out of the park, and I'm absolutely in love with this deck. I highly recommend it, especially if you want to connect with Kali. I think this is a beautiful way. I have a marker in my box. That's why I had to fix that. Sorry, guys. If you're wanting to really connect with Kali, this is a beautiful deck for that. There is one thing I will say. Alana really talks about, there's a section in the beginning of the guidebook where she talks a lot about fasting and how that's something that, you know, I felt like she was pushing fasting a little bit too much. And so that would be my only complaint really about the deck is that's a personal choice if we fast or not. Fasting is not required to connect with Kali's energy. So I just want to affirm that for you. If you read the guidebook and you're feeling a sense of pressure, it's like you don't need to feel that sense of pressure. That's a personal choice that you make on your path. Kali doesn't require fasting to connect with her. And, you know, for some of us, like me, fasting isn't an option. So just due to health. So, you know, if you're in that type of situation, you don't have to feel as if you're able to connect with her less than someone who can engage in fasting. So I just want to put that out there in case that is something that, as you're reading the guidebook, kind of bothers you a little bit. It's something that you don't need to hold on to, you know, but as with any teaching and any deck, if it doesn't resonate with you, don't hold on to it. This is your path and your story. So my final recommendation is if you would like to connect more with Kali, I highly recommend this deck. It's the closest deck I've worked with to come into alignment with her energy as I experience it. And I was, again, pleasantly surprised with how loving and understanding the deck felt while still resonating with Kali's energy. So, you know, it's not a deck you have to worry about working with because even with the honesty of Kali, and that can be visceral at times, the cats are really fighting out there. I don't know if you guys can hear this. I don't have any cats, but my neighbor does. And there's a cat that they've been fighting a lot lately out in the driveway. Anyhow, I digress. Let me go back. I lost my place again, guys. So, but if you've been concerned about, you know, is connecting with her going to be too visceral for you, this is a beautiful deck to be able to make that connection and still feel, you know, a loving, supportive energy that's walking with you. That is also in resonance with Kali's more powerful energy, you know, active energy as we experienced her. And I think that Kali is really a goddess that is needed right now for so many of us. So if you are watching this and feel called to purchase it, I highly recommend it. Again, I'd really encourage it for personal spiritual work, for daily draws, you know, where you can journal and connect with the deck. It's not a deck that if you breeze through working with it, you're really going to get to experience the beauty of it. It's like the more that you slow down and really spend time with it, the more powerful the experience is with Kali. So I highly recommend this one. And I'll put the link to purchase it on Amazon down below. I don't get anything for those links, guys. Like, it's not an affiliate link or anything. I just figure if I don't put it in the description box, somebody asks me where to get it. So I'll put the Amazon link below. But obviously, if you can shop small, shop local, that's always, you know, the best choice. So yeah, I highly recommend the Kali Oracle, guys. It's really, really beautiful. It's at the same level of the Isis Oracle for me. And if you're thinking about getting it, I would highly recommend it. So I hope you found this review helpful. And as always, I am sending you much love and many blessings. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.